So obviously we just had the announcement of Dark Oath for Age of Sigmar, and these are very old world themed models. Heck, let's be honest, these are Norska models. And with the old world rulebook featuring dedicated lore sections on Norska and quick win access to some old kits is leading me to some thoughts. So stick around and let me explain in detail all the reasons and signs why I think that we see Norska before Kislev and Cathay as the next net new faction after the 9 core factions are released. So in the old world rulebook, as many of us know, there are dedicated lore sections for 3 missing factions, being Norska, Cathay and Kislev. Now for whatever reason, Games Workshop decided it's Team Good versus Team Evil, and right now things are a little imbalanced in that we are missing an evil faction. Enter Norska, because I can't see how we could get more good factions before at least another evil one. Their only other options would be bringing in a legacy faction to become a core faction, but it seems unlikely given they need a substantial lore fast forwarding to do so, and or rules don't get written so quickly to be changed. So we are certainly stuck with the core we have now and net new factions entering the fold going forward. Chaos Dwarves or Vampire Coast are other options, but given they have no lore in the book, it's unlikely again and would need more substantial new models to support them as a dedicated release. Looking over these new miniatures, which are absolutely fantastic by the way, this is fully Warhammer the Old World, more so than Age of Sigmar. We didn't get an adaptation style set of new high fantasy designed models like say the vampires got. And what's really important and interesting is that amongst all the many skulls on these kits, none are clear Age of Sigmar ones that I can see, like say a Stormcast helmet or an Uruk Brute that would break theme for us to use them in the old world. The same is true for their scale, weapons and armor, so it makes full sense to me that they intend to have us leverage these models for both games, or at least allow consumers to do so. We don't know yet if they will discontinue the old Marauder miniatures. I suspect that they won't, and they will act as a cheaper alternative. And also, let's get into a chat about the timeline for them releasing into the old world, because of course they need rules to enter the fold here as Norskan. So of course, in a timeline of when this can actually occur, this is going to be in line after all the next core factions have been released. So I think Q1 of 2025 at the earliest. And it would be interesting to see how they handle the rollout of their new rules. Can they just get a standalone book? We just need that and off we go maybe. Because I suspect this comes before, book 2 of a full rule book. And what gives more weight to these thoughts is the recent communications about Kislev and Cathay not coming anytime soon. And I'm not going to go into that because it's been covered by everyone, but a take I've not heard is it possible that perhaps because we're actually going to see Norska next and that they are lined up means it's going to take even longer before we see Kislev or Cathay, for example? Because I'm not sure why they would get so much extra attention in the rulebook versus say Chaos Dwarves, but Chaos Dwarves got rules. It suggests that they didn't give them this because they actually intend for them to become a core faction. This becomes a very easy sort of mini release for Games Workshop. They simply take all of the Age of Sigmar range that's just been delivered, and then we bring back the fun stuff such as Skin Wolves and the good old Chaos War Mammoth. They only need to release, say, 1 new kit of Fimir, and you're done. Printing money, brand new faction, only 1 new kit made, easy. And because it's easy, that's why it's likely to come next versus a Cathay that will need heaps and heaps of work and kits to deliver. Lore-wise, it's easy to bring in the Norska faction. Well, in fact, they already are around and there's nothing lore-wise really stopping them from being at war actively or raiding like they do. But a wider story could be delivered of some unknown threat is pushing them south and now they're raiding Empire lands, segues a year later or whatever into Chaos returning or Dark Elves or whatever. I'm just trying to say that we're not trapped by that sort of Skaven lore that involves them all being hidden from the world for X amount of time. We also do have some rumors from the Square-based YouTube show that the Chaos War Mammoth could be coming back. And that's a Norska model, so I wonder if this adds some fuel to these thoughts. Certainly they could just release this as Warriors of Chaos earlier, but they have a lot of kits already without this, so it's possible. And that's a model alone that could drive attention to a new faction. It's so loved and wanted by the community, it can help sell Norska for them, because Warriors of Chaos doesn't really need anything to help sell it. The new Wilderfiend also, by the way, can totally port over to the old world. Chaos has no rhyme or reason to what they create in a demon form, and they can add rules and lore in for this, no problem. Other new model paths we could see for them to deliver would be something like Ice Trolls, possibly new Skin Wolves, but I am totally happy with the old ones myself. A new Giant model, a new Manticore model, because that's very old now, and possibly a Frost Dragon. How about that? Because dragons for everyone in the old world, and they're very strong in the rules. Lastly, possibly an updated Chariot model, and one maybe more themed, or a dual kit with Warriors of Chaos models. So what do you think? Does it make sense that we could see Norska next? I believe they could come out in the future and say, hey, buy these square bases for your Dark Oaths, or buy our movement trays and keep them on rounds. Here's a new expanded type of Arcane Journal rulebook for them, and here are some returning classics with 1 or 2 new ones to get excited about, and off we go. Well, I hope you found this chat interesting. Consider dropping me a subscribe if you like the sound of my next video, where I'll be covering all the best community conversions and creations for the Tomb Kings, because there is a wealth of fantastic content for your viewing pleasure there. But until then, thanks for watching.